Tottenham Hotspur may have been handed a timely advantage in the race to sign Matheus Fernandes after Manchester United were dealt a major injury setback. Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Lucas Bergvall has played down speculation over his long-term future, insisting his attention is firmly fixed on Sweden's World Cup campaign. Tottenham Hotspur have stepped up their interest in AS Monaco playmaker Magnus Akliouche as Roberto De Zerbi continues his search for fresh attacking reinforcements this summer. And Tottenham Hotspur's hopes of signing Sandro Tonali have received a significant lift, with reports suggesting the Newcastle United midfielder remains determined to complete a move to North London to play under Roberto De Zerbi. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. Tottenham Hotspur's pursuit of Matheus Fernandes could have received an unexpected boost following the latest injury update from Manchester United. According to Football.London, Spurs have identified the West Ham midfielder as one of their priority summer targets, but they face stiff competition from the Red Devils, who are also eager to strengthen in the middle of the park. However, United's transfer plans may have been thrown into doubt after the club confirmed that Manuel Ugarte suffered a serious knee ligament injury while representing Uruguay at the World Cup. The midfielder was stretchered off during his country's 1-0 defeat to Spain and has since returned to Manchester to begin rehabilitation under the club's medical staff. Reports from Uruguay suggest scans have confirmed an ACL tear, ruling the 25-year-old out for an extended period of time. In a statement, Manchester United said, Manchester United can confirm that Manuel Ugarte has suffered a serious knee ligament injury while representing Uruguay in Friday's World Cup group stage match against Spain. Assessment of the injury is ongoing to determine the best course of treatment and the rehabilitation timescale. Everyone wishes Manuel a successful recovery and will be supporting him every step of the way. The setback could have significant consequences, though, for United's summer business. Ugarte had been linked with a move away from Old Trafford after struggling to establish himself since joining in 2024, with his departure expected to help finance further signings. With that option now in doubt, United may have less financial flexibility to compete for Fernandes, potentially leaving Tottenham in a stronger position to secure the Portuguese midfielder. Reduced competition could also weaken West Ham's negotiating position over the player's valuation. United have already committed a sizable fee to midfield reinforcements, with Ederson set to arrive from Atalanta in a deal worth an initial £35 million plus £3.8 million in add-ons. The Brazilian is expected to sign a 4-year contract with an option of a further year after confirming his transfer was close to completion while away on international duty. Lucas Bergvall has refused to be drawn into speculation surrounding his future at Spurs, insisting his full focus remains on helping Sweden at the World Cup. The 20-year-old midfielder has been linked with a possible departure after reports suggested he is considering his options following a difficult campaign in North London. However, when questioned by Swedish media about whether his representatives had been in contact with Spurs over his future, Bergvall declined to give a clear answer. Instead, the Swedish international stressed that the club matters can wait until after the tournament. I'm fully focusing on the World Cup, Bergvall said. We're here to make a good impression in the US. Whatever happens after that, we'll deal with it then. It's been a tough season, but right now the focus is on Sweden. His comments are likely to fuel further speculation over his long-term future, with Spurs supporters interpreting his reluctance to commit as a sign he could be weighing up a move away. Bergvall has reportedly grown frustrated with his lack of opportunities under De Zerbi and has been linked with several clubs across Europe. Despite the uncertainty, Tottenham have yet to indicate whether they are willing to part ways with one of the club's brightest young talents, with Bergvall still viewed as a player with significant long-term potential. His immediate priority, however, remains Sweden's World Cup campaign before any decision is made on his future. Tottenham Hotspur have reignited their interest in AS Monaco star Magnus Akliouche as Roberto De Zerbi looks to add more creativity to his attacking summer options this transfer window. According to Gimme Sports, Spurs are closely monitoring the 24-year-old France international, who has emerged as one of Ligue 1's most exciting attacking talents after contributing 17 goals and assists last season. Akliouche, capable of playing on either wing or as an attacking midfielder, is viewed as an ideal fit for De Zerbi's fluid possession-based style. The report claims Tottenham's recruitment team believe Akliouche has the quality to develop into a long-term successor to James Maddison, with concerns over the England international's injury record and the club's desire to add greater depth in creative areas. Spurs have tracked the Frenchman for some time and are now considering stepping up their pursuit. However, Tottenham are expected to face fierce competition for his signature, with several Premier League clubs also monitoring and keeping tabs on the Monaco playmaker. The French side are under no pressure to sell, meaning Spurs may have to pay a substantial fee if they are to secure one of their priority attacking targets. Despite the competition, the report suggests that Akliouche remains high on Tottenham's shortlist as the North London club continue to reshape their squad ahead of the new Premier League campaign under De Zerbi. And Tottenham Hotspur have been handed a major boost in their pursuit of Sandro Tonali, with fresh reports claiming the Newcastle United midfielder remains committed to joining Roberto De Zerbi in North London. According to Italian transfer expert Gianluca Di Marzio, Tonali has already given his word to De Zerbi that he wants to be a part of the Italian coach's rebuilding project at Tottenham. Despite Newcastle rejecting Spurs' opening offer, the midfielder is said to be determined to honour that commitment if an agreement between the clubs can be reached. The report adds that Tonali's desire to work with De Zerbi again is a key factor behind his stance. The pair share a strong relationship from their time in Italy, with the Tottenham head coach playing a significant role in convincing the 26-year-old that North London is the right destination for the next stage of his career. While Newcastle remain reluctant to sanction the sale of one of their star players, Tottenham have not abandoned hope of completing a deal. Far from it. Spurs are expected to return with an improved offer as De Zerbi continues to push for the Italy international to become one of the marquee signings of the De Zerbi rebuild. Tonali's willingness to join Spurs is viewed as a significant advantage for the club, although negotiations with Newcastle are expected to remain difficult as Spurs look to pull off one of the biggest transfers of the summer. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Firstly, Fernandes again. The Tonali and Fernandes transfer rumours, these are going to rattle on, aren't they, until something happens. Hopefully both of them sign for Spurs. But firstly, this apparent boost for Fernandes because of the injury to Ugarte, that could be a thing. That really could be a thing. If Manchester United were expecting a sale there in Ugarte, decent amount of money you would think for the Uruguayan, then they can't sell a player who's got an ACL injury. It's just not going to happen. So does that throw their transfer plans into doubt? I would imagine it does. And does that mean that Spurs are kind of the only show in town now for Fernandes? So let's see what happens there. It could be that Manchester United are still in the race and they could still go for the player anyway, regardless. We did something similar with Javi Sivens, of course. Maddison gets injured, and we don't just rest on our laurels. We go and buy another number 10, even though obviously Javi started slowly and we didn't get enough players in. That's more of a Spurs problem. I can't imagine Manchester United acting like that anyway. So they could still be in for Fernandes regardless, just to even replace Ugarte, but we just don't know. We don't know what their financial situation is. Spurs are in a much stronger financial position than Manchester United, you would think anyway, with United committing elsewhere, as the report said. So let's see what happens there. But as I say, this one is going to rattle on a bit, you would think. Secondly, Bergvall's comments. it certainly doesn't sound like a player that's incredibly happy at the moment at Spurs. You would think if he knew he was going to be staying, he would just come out and say something akin to that. Kept his cards very close to his chest there as Bergvall, so it really wouldn't surprise me if we see Bergvall go out. I think it depends on the incomings, whether we get the Fernandes deal over the line, whether we get the Tonali deal over the line, and that kind of may well decide Bergvall's future at the club. Would Bergvall go on loan? Who knows? Possibly. Might seem a bit strange for a player that's kind of been part of different managers' squads over the last few years, but it can happen, and we've seen it happen with Rashford. So yeah, I'd hate to lose Bergvall. He's one of those players that I think is a fan favourite, but you've got to move on. We can't all keep being sentimental about our players. Things change and players change. Squads have to change, and perhaps Bergvall could be the fall guy to actually move us on and hopefully improve next season. The Akliouche rumours, again, this is a player, along with several others that I'm sure you could reel off. Akliouche is one that we've courted for years. Again, to be honest, it sounds like Akliouche wants PSG and only PSG, regardless of what the article says, but Spurs are still interested in the player. I would suggest we've probably got enough number 10s, but there's no doubting Akliouche's quality, absolute quality player. I'd love to see him at Tottenham. He obviously ran the game against us last season in that number 10 role. Fantastic player, but with PSG knocking around as well, you'd think the player would probably choose them over Tottenham, but Spurs are definitely interested. That's why it's been reported. And the final story there, Tonali will honour his word. I've said in previous reports that this connection between Tonali and De Zerbi, they come from the same area of Italy. That's a huge thing. Apparently, he's more on the continent than in England, but it's a huge thing. It really is that they're from the same area of Italy, and he said he will honour his word and he will join Tottenham if the clubs can reach an agreement. Now, if that's the case, it sounds like the only thing holding this deal up is the transfer fee. I don't think personal terms will be an issue and everything else. Wages won't be an issue. It's just the transfer fee. Now, Newcastle, as we've heard many times, want 100 million. Spurs haven't gone in with 100 million yet. That's kind of how you do deals to start with. You test the water. But Spurs now, you know what the price is. Go and put the money in. If you want the player, pay the money. So this deal would really feel like the start of things being done differently at Tottenham. That's what we've all said, isn't it? For a number of transfer windows and years, things need to change, things need to be different. If we pay out 100 million for Tonali and get this player over the line, that is a sign, that's a good sign that things are being done differently at Tottenham Hotspur. If it's not done, are we looking at the same old? Let's see, but I would hope, fingers crossed, come on Tottenham, get this deal done. Tonali could be a really good kickstarter of a brilliant transfer window for Spurs. As I've said, we need a 10 out of 10 this window because we can't be in the position we were last season and the season before, to be honest. But that was softened, of course, by winning the Europa League. But we want to be back at the top table. Tonali helps us get there. That's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know how you're feeling as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now. And as always, come on you Spurs.